Republican Representative Adam Kinzinger, in an interview published this week from New York Times Magazine, revealed that he thinks some of his Republican colleagues may have had advance knowledge that the January 6th insurrection was going to take place. Here is what Kinzinger said. "I won't name names, but yes, I do have that suspicion. I will say, if you just look at Twitter, the whole reason I brought my gun and kept my staff home and told my wife to stay in the apartment was looking at Twitter. I saw the threats." He then mentions the fact that at one point Lauren Boebert tweeted out that today is 1776. And here is what he had to say about that. "I don't know what that meant other than this is the time for revolution. Maybe it was a dumb tweet that she didn't mean. Fine, I'll give her that credit for now. But if you have members of Congress who were involved in nurturing an insurrection, heck yeah, we need to know." Boebert is also the one who infamously tweeted out Nancy Pelosi's location during the insurrection itself. So Kinzinger appears to be implying that some of these Republicans may have known that this was going to happen. Now, again, he doesn't know for sure. He's not naming names. He's not explicitly saying they did know, just that he has a suspicion. But let's be honest about something. Law enforcement officials knew something was going to happen that day. Hell, some of the Capitol rioters or people who showed up for that were actually arrested on the spot when they arrived in D.C. for other reasons. But they had known they were coming there because law enforcement officials, the FBI, was following their social media. This did not just spontaneously happen that day. We know that plenty of people were planning to go there and commit acts of violence. And then when you combine that with that little stupid Stop the Steal rally from earlier in the day, Mo Brooks telling people that today's the day you start kicking ass, yes, when you give more fuel to that fire that was already starting to burn, it's going to become uncontrollable. But again, the question that Kinzinger brings up is, did any of these Republicans actually know that the riot was going to happen? Okay? We knew some people wanted to do violence. We knew some people were showing up for the rally. But did they have advanced warning that they were going to be storming the Capitol? See, those are the kinds of questions that, I don't know, say an investigation into the January 6th insurrection would help us to answer. And to be perfectly honest, this may help explain why there is so much staunch Republican opposition to even forming this select committee. Because as I've mentioned in the past, Republicans don't want attention drawn to this because it was Republicans who did it, right? They just want the whole thing to kind of go away and the public to forget about it. But that's not reason enough to be so strongly opposed to this committee. But if they had advanced knowledge of this, if they had gotten social media messages, emails, phone calls, text messages from people warning them that this is what was going to happen and then they didn't warn anybody else, then yeah, suddenly it makes sense as to why some of these Republicans may not want people looking into this. And again, we can't say for sure that that did or didn't happen, but an investigation would probably go a long way into getting us some answers. If you can't get enough Ring of Fire, we encourage everyone to subscribe to our channel for fresh video content 7 days a week. And for even more from me, you can follow me on all social media outlets, Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram @FairandBalanced.